I call on Tangi Utikere.
It's a pleasure to take a call in this adjournment debate as Labour's whip. But firstly, Mr Speaker, I want to acknowledge you and your team of presiding officers, deputy assistant and temporary speakers for their service to the House this year. I also want to acknowledge the staff who have supported...
Didn't feel like that earlier today.
You didn't give me a call. Also, I want to acknowledge the staff who have supported all members from all sides of the House this year, to our electorate and community officers and off-precinct staff, to those here on precinct. Thank you for the work you have done this year. Can I also thank my own whips team and the other whips, musterers and matarau from other parties. Thanks for the work you all do to ensure things run as smoothly as possible. Mr Speaker, it feels like it is the last day of school. Everyone is itching to be set free and let loose from this place for some well-deserved time away. The question, of course, though, sir, for this time of the year is who is going to be on Santa's naughty and nice lists? And the sad reality, Mr Speaker, is that the naughty list is very, very long and full of members from the benches opposite this year. Of course, the Prime Minister, Christopher Luxons, makes the top three, but it's possible that David Seymour and Winston Peters edge him out for the top two slots, as let's face it, they are the real ones who are running this government. David Seymour makes the list for the Treaty Principles Bill, enough said. Now, we all know what that political chameleon Winston Peters will get for Christmas: a new train set. And on Christmas morning, Winston will roll out of bed and open his new present. And when he realises that his new toy won't actually have the necessary batteries that it needs to make it work, only then will the penny drop and he realises the importance of rail-enabled ferries. Over the break, the newly minted Minister for Rail may also do some cruising on the Inter-Islander in the hope that he will discover the South Island actually exists, because no one else on the government benches knows it exists based on their inability to invest in the mainland. Mr Speaker, Nicola Willis must be on this year's naughty list. Last year, she was on it as the Grinch who stole Christmas when she cancelled the $551 million inter-island ferries. Mr Speaker, none of us would have thought that 1 full year on from making that call from the captain's chair, there'd still be no solution, no plan, and it's clear that she had not been making her list and checking it twice. So she makes it onto the naughty list for a second consecutive year. The member should hang her head in shame. Mr Speaker, she might be on it again next year. If that's the case, she will be subject to her own government's 3 strikes, you're out approach. Mr Speaker, I want to move to traffic lights. In particular, the traffic light system implemented by this government that is confronting thousands of Kiwis who are doing it tough as we head into Christmas. Now, the Prime Minister says that all those who are on benefit need to do is show up. Isn't it unfortunate that his own minister failed to face any sanctions earlier this year for failing to do exactly that? And that saw a bill discharged from the Parliament. How embarrassing. For that, Louise Upston is on the naughty list and may very well receive a lump of coal for her misdemeanour under the Christmas tree this year. Mr Speaker, on coal, the government has shown that it is not concerned about taking action in the climate space or on protecting the environment. The passage of the terrible fast-track bill yesterday attracted protests, including some disruption to the Parliament, and, sir, we don't condone such disruptions. But I do note that Simeon Brown was jumping yesterday, trying to pull a banner down from the gallery. Now, we all know that Simeon has been named by one as the Politician of the Year, and couldn't we hear the gnashing of teeth, the sniggering that that accolade brings from members within his own caucus, let alone on the front bench over there. But all that demonstrated yesterday, sir, was that there are still some things that Simeon needs a leg up for. Although, Mr Speaker, we did learn that this year Simeon Brown does have a driver's licence, and he went to some lengths to actually prove that. So, as folks are moving around the country this summer, waiting in queues for their EVs to charge, they can reflect on the fact that the Transport and the Energy Minister's focus was on spending time proving that he actually does have a driver's licence, rather than failing to meet his own government's self-imposed target to roll out more EV chargers, and he has delivered less than half of the 670 chargers that he promised. Sir, that is another big fail. Mr Speaker, that will be one of the many things on the minds of Kiwis this summer as they reflect on the shambolic year that this government has had. They clearly are continuing to take our country backwards, and Kiwis are well and truly aware of that, and they have cottoned on. Mr Speaker, to you and to all members of the House, a very Merry Christmas and a safe and relaxing summer break.
Sure.